The following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
Hoop Ballers, welcome back to another episode, another edition of Today in Sports Betting. I'm your host, Devin Ellington, at DALE007 on Twitter. This is a Hoop Ball Gaming, hoop-ball.com presentation at Hoop Ball Gaming on Twitter, as well as at Hoop Ball Tweets. Make sure to check out the new premium platforms that are out that launched last Monday. You're going to have all sorts of content for fantasy basketball. Then on top of that, you're going to get the Brew 150, which is an award-winning player ranking list for all the incoming college players going into the NBA. The fantasy aspects, you've got a draft guide, got the wager pass. All these packages are differently priced. Got the DFS pass for that, including Discord chats with our professionals. Yes, so go check that out, hoop-ball.com. While you're at it, go to manscaped.com. Use promo code HOOPBALL20, HOOPBALL20, in order to get free shipping and 20% off over at manscaped.com. You can use that on their new Lawnmower 3.0 that just came out, fully electronic waterproof technology. 20% off and free shipping if you use HoopBall20 at manscaped.com. They got some other great products as well, other than the lawnmower. Beard oils, balms, stuff for us male people. All right. I'm going to unpack some football today. The show's, recorded on a Wednesday night, but it's for the Tuesday enjoying. So I'm getting ahead of the curve a little bit. Got a 3-pack I'm going to crack open. Got some Tuesday football to take a look at. There was a cancellation in the MAC between Miami of Ohio and let me find out who else. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to be opening with that. Got some games Tuesday, got some games Wednesday. Already went ahead and looked ahead to a Friday night matchup that I really like. So got some good aspects, some good angles to take as far as bets. Hope you all enjoyed that awesome show with Vince. It's going to be a regular thing. Basketball season's going to be nuts around here, college and professionally. And as you heard, he offers that MMA take, which is a nice fresh angle for us here at Hoop Ball. Ohio was playing Miami of Ohio. That game was canceled. Ohio versus Ohio. That would have been a fun one. Miami of Ohio was shorthanded, so I figured that they probably had a chance to lose that game. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and start with some Tuesday action. Be real brief. First and foremost, Buffalo, Bowling Green. Buffalo going on the road, 31.5-point favorites, and a total set at 59.5. I don't really have anything as far as full game here, but what I do have is 3 different angles to take for first half or first quarter early on bet. And, it's most important to point out that Buffalo features the best defense in the MAC, and Bowling Green is one of the worst teams in all of college football. So I look for Buffalo to get stops early and often and to be the beneficiary of big chunk plays. Bowling Green allows 6.7 yards per play, and the Bulls, as an offense, average 7.4 yards per play. Bowling Green is dismal on third down, only converting 18.52%, and the Falcons surrender 302.5 rushing yards per game. The Bulls roll easily, but I'm banking on first half success. I'm going over the total of 31.5 in the first half, thinking Buffalo could probably cover that themselves, and that's at plus 100, so I'm going to smack a couple units on that. And Buffalo, first quarter, team total over 10.5. That's at plus 110, so I'm going to slap 1.75 units on it. And then I've got Buffalo minus 18 in the first half, and I'm just going to roll a full unit on that. So, starting with that, Buffalo heavy. Bowling Green is just terrible. They are at the bottom of every metric imaginable. Keep it rolling. Tuesday night still. We got Akron and Kent State. Kent State home favorite of minus 24. Akron, the Zips coming on the road. They're, right there as far as the biggest bottom feeder in the MAC with Bowling Green State. These two teams are, pretty bad. Kent State's rolling, and they are now, I believe, on a 7-game win streak dating back to last year. I'm rolling with Kent State all the way. They are the kind of team, I think, that's going to be in a good spot here specifically tonight against a team that's not as good as they are. They typically beat those kinds of teams in their conference. And when they're better than the team, they come out and they play well. And the Kent State offense is firing, like I said, very strong right now. They just scored 60 points. Akron gives up 7.1 yards per play on defense. And conversely, Kent State is actually a really good defense. They are ranking in the top 5, I believe, in the country as far as the havoc rating. So keep an eye on them and the pressure that they can generate. Sack and pressure rate should be pretty high for Kent State. I think they'll get at least 5 sacks on the quarterback against Akron. So I'm looking at Kent State minus 24. I'm going to go ahead and cover that all the way up to 27. That's my number. And I like the first half, team total over 22.5 for the Golden Flashes. They could probably have 17 points by the end of the first quarter. All right. Going to roll on, talk about – actually, I'm gonna backtrack a little. I want to talk about a poop pick. I had a poop pick I had a couple of them, but overall I did really well in college football. But this Arkansas plus 17.5 at Florida, sorry about that one, guys. That was just a poop pick. I'm going to highlight a poop pick of the week just because it's really fun to say, and I'm immature. But this was it. This was the poop pick. Anyways, Arkansas allowed 60 points to Florida. It was bad. Okay. So Tuesday, and this next game I'm going to talk about is probably going to be the one that I have a lot of confidence in. So foreshadowing, it may make it into the Wager Pass article, but that's for you to find out at a later time. But that's Western Michigan going on the road against Central Michigan. The total is at 61.5. First of all, both of these defenses are ranked towards the top of the MAC in their conference. Both teams allow less than 5 yards per play. That's pretty dang good. But Western Michigan by far has the more explosive offense. They put up points per play at .846. So they scored .846 points per play within the game. However, Central Michigan's very dominant on third down. The strengths of both of these teams are quite evenly matched up, but Western Michigan will for sure need to, shore up their pass defense, and I believe they'll be able to do that in this spot with how unproductive Central Michigan's passing game is. I feel that the Broncos are just in a good spot to be able to do just that and bottle up that pass offense of Central Michigan. But one big note here is the fact that the Western Michigan team, as a team, they have a quarterback rating, QBR, of 206.2. And Caleb Ellaby has 6 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. They are the number 1 ranked conference road team in the MAC, as far as power ratings go. That's what we're seeing in this. And then the overs are 2-0 and have a plus 38.5 point differential for games involving Western Michigan. And that is because their offense is really dynamic. Central Michigan, they're going to have to win this game with a strong ground game, and I just think that Western Michigan's a good enough tackling team, and they limit rush explosiveness enough to where they'll be able to shut that down and then also return it with some potent offense of their own. And so I'm looking at the total to go over 61.5, and then I like the Western Michigan money line at minus 1.5 as the road dog. Just think ultimately they're the better team. We're all around. And I think, it's just a matter of matchup. And Western Michigan, I think, features the better value. Now, talk about Toledo and Eastern Michigan. That is going to be a Wednesday night game. These last two MAC games I'm talking about are Wednesday night. So getting a real good jump on the MAC this week. So as of right now, Eastern Michigan's potentially going to be without two of their top receiving threats, as well as a key running back depth piece in Darius Boone Jr. Toledo could find success against Eastern Michigan, seeing as their defense is ranked 100th or worse in all major defensive metrics against the run. I mean, they're pretty bad. Quarterback Eli Peters for Toledo could also see an opportunity to have a big game, since Eastern Michigan does allow an opponent completion percentage of 70.49%. I don't believe Eastern Michigan will be able to generate much of a pass rush against this Toledo offense that only allows a 2.5%, which is good for 15th in the country sack rate. This offensive line is experienced and they communicate well. They block really effectively together. And Toledo ranks third in time of possession in the country at 64.51%. So they hold the ball for almost 65% of the time within their games. So if their defense plays as well as they can, Toledo actually is one of the top teams as far as Havoc rating, and they produce a lot of really aggressive secondary plays with some passes defensed, and they generate tackles for loss as well. But if their defense can do what they need to do and the offense finds success on the ground, I'm looking for the Rockets to win, by 10 or, more, 10 or more at least. So my number right here at -6.5 is a real easy one to me. They're more deep than what Eastern Michigan is. You're seeing Hutchinson starting to make a little bit more indecisiveness, and he's missing some throws. Watched some game film on him today, and then also on Toledo's defense. And I think just the meshing of the two is going to be more favorable for Toledo. They're going to probably turn the ball over. Eastern Michigan, that is, at least a couple of times. This Toledo defense is aggressive. Hutchinson can be loose with the ball. So Toledo -6. Probably going to roll with a 1.5 unit bet on that. And then let's go ahead and talk about a Friday night game. And then I'll throw a couple of early NFL games that I'm looking at out there, and go ahead and just kind of roll on out of this one. So Purdue going on the road against Minnesota. It opened at a pick 'em. Now it's to Purdue -2.5, and I went ahead and locked that in right there. Minnesota is going to need to perform better in the opponent yards per play and opponent red zone scoring percentage departments. They're giving up a lot of success to opponent offenses in that regard. And now, just now I'm looking at it, and this is within the last hour and a half, but it's at 3 for Purdue. So still some good movement. Over under 61.5, opened at 62. But I'm actually I locked in over 60.5. So that steam has pushed it back up. It's been up and down a little bit. But, Purdue's coming off that tough loss against undefeated Northwestern, who's a really solid defensive unit. They have continuity on the offensive line led by that quarterback of theirs. And the Boilermakers are going to see an uptick in offensive production and efficiency and success rates, I believe. Golden Gophers are ranked 90th or worse in all but 2 defensive categories. The 2 defensive categories that they rank better in are actually important ones, and that's red zone opponent success rate percentage, and as well as third down conversion percentage. But I think those are going to be inflated a little bit due to the teams that they played, and as much as, I want to say they're skilled, but I think they probably got a little lucky. Their luck percentage it's actually a stat. Their luck percentage within the red zone was actually pretty high. And so I think the passing attack of Purdue could cash in during this matchup because Minnesota gives up 8.8 yards per pass, and Purdue throws the ball at the second highest clip in the nation. I think they throw the ball about 64% of the time, 63 and some change. So I'm looking at putting some money together and putting it on Purdue. Purdue -2.5 is a good spot for me. It opened at a pick and it's already up to 3, so I'm glad I locked it in there. And it looks like I beat the steam on the over It's already shot back up to a point higher than what I placed the 60.5 in at. So I think it's going to continue to rise. And I want to make sure to get on the right side of that. All right. I'm going to talk a couple NFL games, but before I do that, we're going to talk about the other show's presenting sponsor, and that is mybookie.ag. You go over there, use promo code HoopBall. You're going to get a 100% deposit bonus match, and then you're going to receive some money for a futures wager. Take some of these nuggets that you're hearing about college football and go ahead and utilize them to your favor. So, a couple of these football games that I'm looking at, just doing some first glances, so to say. But I'm looking at, Cincinnati and Washington going under 46.5. I think, both defenses are kind of underrated, especially Washington. They have a really good pass defense, and then they also have, a real stout defensive front. Miami -3 over Denver. I like that a lot, just for the simple fact that Tua is rolling right now. Denver's really unhealthy on both sides of the ball. And I'm just being real brief with these NFL first looks, so I apologize, y'all. But Rams and Tampa Bay, that's Monday Night Football for this upcoming week, so I don't want to jump right into that too far away now. But yeah, just those two right now for my first looks. I might look at the over 51.5 and in the Atlanta and New Orleans game. Obviously, Drew Brees is going to be out sometime with all that rib injury stuff and punctured lung. Hopefully he recovers okay. That's pretty scary. But yeah, right now Miami -3 over Denver. Might see that slow up to about 4.5, 5. And then I'm looking at the under 46.5 for the Cincinnati and the Washington game. Especially if Cincinnati's going to be down Joe Mixon again. Washington's down guys. Alex Smith, a little more of a game manager in there. Kyle Allen was a little more of the gunslinger. So go ahead and keep your ears posted for future NFL plays as well as some NFL takes. I've got some really good game write-ups and articles that are going to be coming out on hoop-ball.com. And then you can always get at me directly and let me know if you have any questions or if you have some thoughts on angles. I would love to gain insight in any way that I could. So once again, go over to hoop-ball.com, check out the premium content. The Hoopball 360 will get you everything, the DFS pass, the fantasy basketball content, as well as the wager pass and all sorts of exclusive in very, very good content. So make sure to keep checking out what we churn. It's coming out very rapidly and will continue to do so, especially when the basketball season actually starting here soon. You're seeing trades start to happen. So we're going to make sure to keep you updated on that and make sure to follow and leave reviews of the 5-star proportions over on Apple Music for us. Subscribe on Spotify, iHeart, and then go ahead and give the show's Twitter page at Hoopball Gaming a follow, and then also at Hoopball Tweets. That is the mothership for all of this. Once again, I'm Devin Ellington at DALE007 on Twitter. And until the next one, y'all be safe. I'm sending you all my good vibes and all my good energies. And I look forward to the next one. Take care.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.